So after gateway number 40, the sun moves on out of what we've described as the tribal circuitry. And when the sun is in the 40, the earth is going to be in the 37. So we're all going to have that experience of the community channel. Who's with us? Who are we with? What's the whole arena of support there? Am I getting the support I need in my life, or do I need to shift? Do I need to expand? Do I need to go into some other environment where I get the support I need? Or I can give the support, I can offer my gifts and abilities. So then the sun moves into gateway number 64, and there's a whole different thing in the 64. We're in what we call the abstract circuitry, the sensing circuitry, and it's way up in the crown center. So it's a gateway of inspiration in life. And here's the pages that we have that gives a full description from it. This is from the Book of Lines. And this is a really fascinating thing to see, that 64 is right next door to the 47 in the wheel. And these two guys make up a channel of 6447, which in very simple terms is the channel of making sense out of life. Well, I say making sense out of life. We know a lot of things in life, yeah, they do make sense. A lot of things in life don't make sense. And there's a whole bunch of stuff in life that make no sense at all. Nonsense. So here we are, we're in this arena of trying to make sense. Now, using these words, making sense, what are we doing? We are linking experiences of the present with references from the past. And this is the whole thing with the abstract sensing circuitry. It's about linking things together because of something that may have happened before, and we're seeing something similar happening at the moment, and we are thereby justifying what we're experiencing in this moment. So large part of this channel in the abstract circuitry leads towards belief systems, right? And you probably know by now that wherever your circuitry is or whatever your design is in life, your beliefs have changed throughout your lifetime, right? What you used to believe when you were a kid, and then a teenager, and then starting to become an adult, and the whole adult scene, and the beliefs keep changing all the time. So that's the great thing with the 64, is it's opening up new possibilities. I call it the gateway of diverse possibilities. In the traditional I Ching, it's called before completion. So you're running up to a situation, and right before you complete something, did I include everything? Have I got the whole story here? You know, am I missing anything? And so there's a potential great confusion in the 64th gateway of, have I covered all my bases here? In expansion, there is no perfect equilibrium, right? Life is expanding. We've got the Webb telescope online now. We're seeing this universe is a lot bigger than we thought it was. There's a lot more involved in it than we used to think just a few months ago. So in expansion, there is no perfect equilibrium. There's always an expansion and no absolute correctness. We can't say, hey, the universe stops here, or, you know, this is the limit to everything. And yet there is always the pressure to find a balance. And that is our life experience. You know, we like to be able to make sense out of things. We like to be able to say, yeah, this is the limit. This is how it works. This is what I believe. And the belief is something that basically makes my day, makes my week, makes my life. So the great thing about the 64 is to realize it's always a moving tapestry. So I give the commentary to it here. Life and our experiencing of existence is a self-fulfilling journey that continues to move to completion, entering into and through new cycles and spirals. Right? There's no such thing as life just standing still and staying that way. We're always moving into new cycles of experiences, and hopefully these cycles evolve into spirals that take us up in our life experience, up in our accessing our consciousness, up in our experiencing of love in this world. In seeking to find a perfect answer to life, right? I really want to know what's going on here. Perfect answer, the perfect answer. Look into the stars. Go out at night sometime when there's no light pollution and look up into the sky, and there's just so many stars up there. And try choose your favorite. What is it? This one, maybe this one, maybe. Right? And what this is pointing towards, there's always more. And that's the whole nature of the 64. It's a cornucopia of diverse possibilities that take us into and through all kinds of life experiences. So just, you'll find if you have that 64 just on its own in your chart, you're very good at kind of filling in missing details in other people's lives. And they can say, oh, I'm going to be doing this and this and this. And you say, well, hang on, what about this? Here's another possibility. What about these things over here? Wouldn't these make for great experiences in your life? And so we're always being triggered. There's always more. Keep looking, keep expanding. Don't get stuck in a dogma. Well, I'm stuck in a rut here. I can only go so far. Go out into nature. Go look at the stars. Go and allow yourself to be expanded and your whole concept of the universe to be expanded. Nobody knows what life is. Nobody. We're having this experience. And the 64 says, have another look. There's always more. Go expand your horizons, perspectives. So when the sun goes into the 64, for this 5 days or 6 days, we're going to have this possibility of shifting our points of view, opening up into other possibilities, seeing other realities that are available, that are calling to us, right? All in the process of trying to make sense out of life. Does it add up? So let's have a look at the lines here. 6 lines. So we start off with the first line, and this first line is called transitioning. Inner resolve leads you towards fulfilling outcomes. So here we are, we're being offered, the 64 is offering all kinds of different things that we could look at and appreciate and bring into our lives as a part of our life experiencing. So the first line is saying, look, an inner resolve. I really want to get to the bottom of this. I really want to have the most amazing experience, the most fulfilling outcome. I say it, nobody really knows what life is. We are somehow gifted to have this extraordinary experience with this extraordinary outfit we're wearing, that carries our consciousness and our love through this lifetime, to have the experience of life in 3 dimensions. So the whole basis that I can come to, 2 things. You're here to live your life. That's the foundation of it all. We're all here to live our own life. We're not here to live somebody else's life, even though they've got a great story, a great biography, maybe even somebody's written a great big book about them. And everybody's kind of going along, oh, this guy's so great, we should just do exactly as this guy did. Well, there's a lot of interpretations around that. And the 64 is saying, look, the universe keeps on expanding. There's always more possibilities. So the bottom line in life is to be fulfilled as oneself. That's it. So here the first line is saying, relying solely on past perspectives of your life experiences will not bring you fulfillment. The 64 is saying, keep opening up, keep going, keep having another look into things. There is always more. The Venus side of it, your inner harmony, provides patience and forbearance without promising satisfying outcomes. There's a potential for Venus to say, I'll just stick with what's harmonious for me. And yes, it can provide for a very beautiful lifetime. But, there's still that push. 64 is drawing us out. Have you looked at this? Have you seen this? Maybe. Then the Mars, you're always ready to act. Mars is this outgoing energy. Let's get it done. Let's get on with it. You're ready to act in any instant when things seem to be resolved, but often are not. You haven't come to that point where this is making sense. This is where I need to go. This is how I need to proceed. And Mars kind of jumps the fences and say, oh, let's just get on with it anyhow. Second line always has that quality of being very natural. And, the line calls being dedicated, remaining true to your own inner voice. And that is the nature of the second line. The second line has to be able to trust in themselves, even though very often they appear to be unsophisticated. They're just going about things naturally. So the great thing with the second line with the 64 is heads up. Carry on in your own way. Trust your own inner senses, which, of course, in human design, the inner voice is your own type of authority. Trusting in yourself and in your own process, you find your clarity and make your moves. It's a foundational thing with human design. Yes, there's more, but allow the more to open up into things that actually resonate for you. Trust your own process. If you're a generator, pay attention to your gut response. It's going to take you into that arena that really works well for you. If you're a projector, be alert to who and what is drawing you, drawing your attention, drawing your gifts and abilities. And that will therefore bring you an expansion in your own life. Here, Venus, relying on your own inner harmony, you wait for an inner sense that precedes resolution. In a sense, it's saying be patient, trust in your own way, and sure enough, everything will become obvious to you in due course. The resolution will come. That even though there's so many different things to choose from, it'll become very clear which are the ones that really relate to you. And then the moon's energy, you attune with many aspects of life, sometimes overcommitting yourself unnecessarily. And there's that thing, oh, it's so good over here. Oh, this is a bright, shiny object over here. Oh, this looks so much fun. A lot of us are very overqualified in life. We've been to this seminar and this training, we've studied over here, and we've read so-and-so's book, and yeah, we're overcommitted. And that, that's again, it's like, in a sense, it's kind of giving up on the trust in ourselves that what we need to find will come in its own natural way to us. That we don't necessarily need to go chasing after everybody else's ways of doing things. This is a second line thing. Third line, right? Third line always has this issue of experimenting. Let's try it out. Let's see what happens here. Let's give it a go. And the line is called restarting, commencing anew when old ways no longer apply. So it's quite possible to get into a habitual way of just getting involved in things. I'll just give it another go. It looks like something interesting, something bright. And then you come to the realization, as long as I keep on just repeating that same old way of doing stuff, of getting involved in things, I'm not going to get any different result. I mean, there's some very famous phrase about that, committing to the same thing using the old tools. There's never going to be an evolution of any sort. So here it's saying you need to be clear from the outset of any endeavors, right? Right at the outset, momentary pause for clarity, right? You need to be clear from the outset in any endeavors and recognize who else has that clarity. Going along with the same group or going along with the same pattern of behaviors and company, there's nothing new and evolutionary going to come out of that. It's not going to be that expansion that the 64 can actually provide. When you wait, and here's the Saturn energy of it, when you wait for renewed clarity and perception, you deliberately transcend confusion. Right? Just that thing, there's no need to rush into something just because we've always done it this way. And the third line gives you that possibility of making the break. Third lines can often have that facility to make the break out of the tried and true, the way we've always done it, the habitual patterns. It's always the experimenter trying out in different ways. And here the moon's placement, being out of touch with the times, you commit to strategies without fulfilling outcomes. And it's something of the same in a sense, just the habitual way, you're not paying attention to what's really needed in that moment. And just, oh, well, it looks like the right thing. I kind of believe it's supposed to go like this, and therefore, nothing really comes out of it. There is no fulfilling outcome. So the 64 is really saying, look, there's always more. There's to be fulfilled in this lifetime. Why be limited in a cul-de-sac? Why just stay in a fixed agenda somewhere? Expand. I grew up in a part of the world where some people hadn't even visited the next village, let alone moved out of the country and gone exploring around the world to get the reflections of what this planet is all about, this extraordinary planet with so many diverse features in it. And that again is what the 64 is all about. It's seeking that fulfillment. It's not just about fulfilling a bucket list or anything like that. It's about being expansive in any moment in time in your life to just see what is being offered here. What are these amazing things that are being offered my way? I've been asked, why is it that we have two planetary glyphs alongside each line? And basically what we're saying is the first one is basically saying, this is a refined aspect of this particular line, and it harmonizes very well with that particular planet's energy. And then the second one, the lower one of the two, the lower planetary presence there, is basically saying, you know, there's not such a harmony between this particular planet's energy and the line. It works, but it works in a very different way. And that's what we're putting these two planets here, just to kind of give an extreme in sense of what really harmonizes well and what doesn't harmonize so well, but still has an interacting effect on that line. So then we look at the fourth line, and the fourth line has this kind of breakout situation. The ultimate aim, I would say, for 64 is to have that sense that everything is available. There's all kinds of different ways of looking at the same thing. You know, very, very expansive possibility in life. So the fourth line is the line where, you know, naturally fourth lines is wanting everybody to join in. Aren't you all with me on this? You know, can we all see things in the same way here? Do we all get the same experience? Do we all have the same beliefs here, in a sense? And so the fourth line has this potential of getting involved in confusion, that not everybody buys into what it is the fourth line is seeking to gain connection with. And the line is called overcoming. All inner struggles require persistence and determination. And the inner struggle is, what is it I'm really looking for here? You know, I want to find fulfillment. I want to find fulfillment through the experiences that I have in life. What is the pathway there? Well, how do I engage with the things that are going to draw that fulfillment to me? So it's saying you need inner principles to transcend confusion, inner principles to transcend confusion, and clarify how you're going to proceed. So we can stay confused about anything as long as we're overthinking things. And the 64 encourages us to think a lot about stuff. Oh, is this, all these diverse possibilities in life. So we say, you know, in human design, we have these 6 authorities, these 6 different ways of making a decision. We each have one for our lifetime. And when we really honor that authority, then it's quite easy to transcend the confusion. You know, you take the energy out of the head and you bring it into the body, or you bring it into some other way in which your design is designed to give you clear decision-making processes in anything. So you need inner principles. The inner principle is meditation, is clarity, is trusting in your own design. Here the moon gives it, you review all cycles. Moon is the satellite of this planet. It gives us a cycle every month. So, you know, we can really tune into the movement of the moon, and it really affects this particular line. You review all cycles of life with a certainty that sooner or later you'll find realization. I mean, all of us have been in a situation sometimes where somebody's told us a joke. You know, and it's everybody else is laughing and we don't quite get it. You know, it's like, don't quite get it. And it's the same kind of thing with the fourth line. It's like, you know, I can't really tune into what it is that is going to bring me that fulfillment. And then sure enough, you know, middle of the night, all of a sudden you get the joke. All of a sudden the light bulb goes on. All of a sudden it's like, oh goodness, that's what it was all about. You know, now I can see clearly. So what this line is saying, everything goes around in a cycle. All life experiences go around in a cycle. We can wonder sometimes, you know, why did I get involved in this? Who on earth talked me into doing that? And sure enough, one day we just see, oh my goodness, I learned so much from that. I really expanded my beliefs in terms of, you know, how that experience really affected me. The Mars energy here with an overly energized mind, right? 64 is right up in the crown center, a center of inspiration. With an overly energized mind, you find that confusion never clears for very long. You know, the light bulb goes on and then it's like, oh, hang on a minute, there's another piece to it. You know, I thought I'd got it. I picked out, you know, exactly where I wanted to go, and now I got to go around the whole thing again. I got to have another look at it. And so there's always that thing. Meditation gives us that possibility to draw some of the energy out of the mind, you know, into our authority, into where we can make clear decisions and just see. Right? I want to be fulfilled in this lifetime. I want to be guided in this lifetime. I want to have the diverse possibilities be brought to me in a way that I can equate them in my life so that they make sense. And that process will bring me fulfillment. Then we come to the fifth line. The fifth lines always have this kind of leadership or teacher role in things, and this line is called being exemplary. So 64 with the fifth line, constantly persistent. It's like double barrel, constantly is persistent, persistently constant, right? You shine brightly from an inner resolve. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. That's the inner resolve. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to find out where life is wanting to take me. What are the openings? What are these bright shining stars, the ones that really relate to me here? You realize that your inner light can be shone outwards to disperse other people's confusions. And this is always the possibility with the fifth line. It doesn't matter what planet or gateway it's involved in. There's always that possibility for the fifth line to inspire other people, to be able to see where other people need guidance or directing. They just have that quality. But at the same time, there is this massive projection field onto a fifth line. Oh, they're supposed to do this for me. Oh, they're supposed to be live like that. And they, if they don't live like that, then it's not going to work at all for me. So here, the fifth line with the 64 says, yeah, if I'm very clear inside myself, I've followed my type and authority. I'm really, really clear inside myself, not just living in the projection field that everybody else puts on me. And I can shine that clarity from inside myself into the world around me. Really easy for me to clarify other people's situations. So the Venus energy here, your steadfast inner harmony. Steadfast inner harmony reaches outwards to shed light on the world's confusion. Great opportunity, for all of us to just see, yes, the world is a very, very confusing place. It doesn't need us to add to the confusion. Oh, but there's all these different things to look at. Yeah, well, what's the center? What's the important thing for each of us as an individual? Right? The news is one thing, TV is another. Everybody else is freakouts and inputs are other things as well. But if we're just engaging in that, we're just adding to the confusion. But if we're seeing we have an inner clarity inside ourselves, there's a whole different story takes place. And then Jupiter, you see possibilities for clarification, but tend to be overburdened by other people's confusion. You get caught up in everybody else's projection of who and what you are and how you're supposed to fix everything for them and how you're supposed to point the way for them and tell them what to do and this and that. Yeah, and so the confusion keeps going on. We're always putting the attention or responsibility off into other people. And that's the bottom line. We didn't come here to live somebody else's life. We're not here to be instructed. You look at all the different types, none of them are here to be instructed. They can learn from sensitive input, but we're not here to be told what to do. Generators are here to respond. I'm telling you to do this, huh? 64 with the sixth line, right? Keeping your head. Right, the sixth line can see everything. It's like there's so many possibilities, but it's quite clear which are the ones that are really relevant. Remaining lucid in celebrating achievements. So yeah, the 64 can pick the winners, can pick the sixth line can pick out the winners, which ones are really worthwhile, which possibilities are really going to be fulfilling. You celebrate with clarity or lapse into self-indulgence when confusions are resolved. So when the light goes on, when the realization happens, yes, absolutely. Wow, I really cracked it. I cracked that one. But okay, heads up. No need to get lost in self-indulgence. Here, Mercury, your patient brilliance allows you to sort through any amount of chaos and find resolutions. This is the really clear mind that can look at a situation, weigh it up, see what's involved, how to give direction, how to embrace certain things that are going to bring fulfillment and leave aside other things that are basically lost in time and perhaps no longer relevant anymore. That's the great thing about beliefs. The moment a belief turns into a dogma, it's stuck. Everything else in the universe keeps on moving, but no, we got a dogma here. We're just stuck in this thing. We're stuck in a rut. And we all have to be really, really careful about that. You look around the world and you recognize situations where people are completely stuck in a rut. This is the only way life's going to be. We're going to make this ruling. We're going to make this decision. This is how it is. And everybody's got to agree with me. And sure enough, we end up with wars and fighting and all kinds of upsets and things. So we have to really see dogma. Yes, anytime you come across a dogma, a creed, it is stuck. It is stuck in time. And it prohibits us from finding a new realization. And here the Mercury says your patient brilliance allows you to sort through any amount of chaos, thread the needle, and come to the resolution. And then the Venus side of it, you delight in embracing disorders, but ultimately may get lost in the ensuing chaos, get overwhelmed. That's the other side of the sixth line. It gets so involved in things, it can get overwhelmed and therefore no longer functions very well in a situation at all. All of us probably have seen times in our life when we've overcommitted and then we can't fulfill what we've promised to do or to fulfill, and sure enough, the fulfillment drops away and our support and encouragement in other areas of our life drops away as well. So there we are with the 64, and the next one coming up is the 47. So stay tuned for that one in a few days from now.